It's a good day when you have all your paint bucket items and tools out, because we are ready to put some joint compound on in this bonus room and in bedroom number 2 back here behind me. But I just want to go over a few items that I have ready to tackle this part of the project on. First thing you'll notice here, I've got a bunch of different taping knives. I've got the 8-inch one over here, a couple of 6-inch knives, a couple of 4-inch knives, a 3-inch knife, and then like a 1.5 or 1-inch knife. And those for all different applications when you're adding joint compound. We're going to start off small with probably the 3 and 4-inch knives. That's going to be used to put the joint compound inside the nail holes. We'll probably do a first coat of using those knives on the horizontal seams also. And then we'll get progressively larger to smooth and even that out as we go across the horizontal pieces and also the vertical pieces too. And then you've got our tape over here. I used to use this mesh tape, as you can see here. This one is kind of interesting, this mesh type tape. It's actually sticky on one side, and then you place that over the seam, and then you put your joint compound right over it. So it's a one-step process. Whereas a tape, you have to put the joint compound on, and then the tape over it, and then go back over it with another row of joint compound. So I'm going to go back to using the tape. It's a little more stable, gives a little better seam, and it's a little bit stronger than using the mesh tape. So that's what we're going to do there. We're going to have a total of 3 coats of joint compound on here, with the 3rd coat being basically the finish coat. I will probably need another 5-gallon bucket here. I've opened this up just to see the consistency of it. It's pretty firm right now. So I think what we're going to do first, before we add water and mix that up, is use what's in there now to fill in some of the larger gaps that I have here, some of the mistakes that were made, the gouges, etc. For example, in the closet here, we've got that gouge that I talked about earlier. We'll just fill that in with some of the thicker stuff so we get the bucket down a little more. And then I can start adding water in to thin it out a little bit. It'll be easier to work with and apply onto the seams where I need it to. And then I've got another tool here, is this hawk. This is called a hawk. It's basically a tray. You grab the bottom of it here, hold it, and you put all your joint compound there and you work it that way. I used to use just the knives, put the joint compound on the knives and work it that way, but I found that I just started that like that last year, and that's a lot easier. It holds more joint compound, and it's easier to work the joint compound on the tray. And it also acts as a drip tray, so when you're working on the ceiling and stuff's dripping down, you can have it catch on the hawk there. This is a mixing drill bit, basically. Put this on the end of a big drill, stick it in there, and you mix it up. So we'll use that later on. That's my drill I'm going to be using to do that. I've got a couple of buckets here. One's going to be filled with water so I can clean my tools off. After a while, they'll get hard and crusty from the joint compound drying on them, so you'll want to wash those off, keep a clean tools. And then I got another bucket here just to sit on or to use to mix additional mix with if I need to for whatever reason. So we've got that going on. And then the regular paint stuff that I'm going to be using later on, but that's going to stay up here. Caulking, paint brushes, stir sticks, etc., etc. So that's where we stand right now. Oh, and one more thing, sorry. We've got these corner beads. This metal piece, this angle piece here, is called a corner bead. We want to put those on every single corner, outside corner. And those are used to protect the corners, obviously. And how they work is, you put the corner bead on. This is a 9-foot one. They sell them in 8, 9, and 10-foot pieces, maybe even larger. But you put it on, it protects the outside corner. And then if you look closely after you get it on, let's see if I can do that here. You put your blade on, and you can see there's a gap right there. Well, that gap is where you're gonna have your joint compound sitting. So when you turn the corner and you go to this way, it's gonna be all flush all the way down. So that's a good thing to have. And then you'll also notice that you got a bunch of holes in here. Let's see, the smaller holes that you see like right here, that's where you're gonna screw in or nail in. And then these holes, the larger ones, is where the joint compound is gonna actually seep through, and then it will make an adhesion between the corner bead and the wall. So that's what that's used for. So we've got 3 of those, got one here, one on this corner, and then one going into the bedroom. And this is, of course, is where we're going to start. But we'll put the corner beads on first, make sure those are in place and level. And then we will start adding some joint compound. The order of operation is I'm going to do all the long seams first. The reason for that is because those take the longest to dry. Not that time is of any issue, but we want to get those all sealed in, dried up. And then once those are drying, we'll go back and do the screw heads, and those go very quickly. So we want to get all the hard stuff done first. We will call this one a wrap. So until next time, peace out.